What's up, guys? It's Corex, bringing you my week 2 battle of the PSA. I can actually commentate this week because I'm still a little bit sick, but just not 100% like I was last week. Last week, trying to record was a nightmare. But anyway, this was a great battle with Skydust, who I've played in a couple other leagues with. He's an amazing player. Got a fantastic team as well. But I'm gonna get right into this. Gonna kind of play it slow at first and speed it up if I need to, because sometimes I commentate fast, sometimes I don't. But I'm going to switch this around because he ends up leading with his Crobat while I lead with my Scarf Meloetta. Now, I have a choice here. He could anticipate me being Scarf and go into Crocodile, at which point I have no problem switching into my Flygon, who is immune to Earthquake and also is holding a Z Crystal, so knockoff won't do as much. Or you go into Scissor, make a kind of a mid-ground play, at which point I can kind of go into Mega Venusaur, or I can kind of go into Heatran without a problem. So I figure that it's worth just trying to see if I can catch him off guard turn 1 and Psychic this Crobat, or Side Shock the Crobat, and I do. So I get rid of Crobat turn 1, which is amazing because my team doesn't have a lot of great defensive answers to Crobat outside of Heatran. And so the Crobat's going to go down, and he's obviously going to go into the Crocodile here. He's got no reason not to. He's very clearly aware that I'm Scarf, so he does get free Rocks up, which is upsetting, but it's not a huge pain to me. Like, I mean, half my team kind of resists Stealth Rocks, so they take less from them. I tried to go for Dragon Claw on the first turn with the Flygon against the Crocodile instead of just Dragon Dancing up immediately because I didn't know what his switch in would be, and I wanted to find out if the Shaman was offensive or defensive. I knew he wasn't going to go into Primarina, and if it did, I could nuke it with Groundium Z. But if he'd gone Latios there, expecting me to Earthquake as well, he would have gotten kind of hit hard. If he'd gone Shaman, he would have taken some damage and would have identified his set. And if he'd gone Scissor, I would have potentially been able to set up against it. So he knocks off. Does, like I said, 41%. Not a huge deal. I do carry Roost on his Flygon. I am Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Dragon Claw, and Roost with the Groundium Z. So this one he knows that I'm Z move, so he's going to go out into his Shaman as I Dragon Dance up. So I don't know if this is maybe Scarf and I'm risking a Speed Tie. I don't know if this is has HP Ice at all. So I end up deciding to go out into my Venusaur, who is not Mega yet. So it would have taken some damage from an HP Ice, to be clear, but it would have eaten it anyway because I have some special defense. However, he goes for Energy Ball there instead of not Seed Flare. Probably doesn't want to risk the miss, but yeah, it does almost nothing. He goes Scissor on my Sludge Bomb, which is a good play. I mean, I thought about HP Flaring there, but I decided that he might have Psychic, he might have something that could hit Air Slash, that could hit Venusaur, but I decided to go for Sludge Bomb anyway because of that, even though he had the Scissor in the back. And then, of course, he does get me on the HP Flare by going into Latios, giving him momentum, which is an amazing series of plays by him. So he's basically able to get the Latios in for free against my Venusaur. So that's really good, well played by him. I'm going to go out into my Heatran, who is special defense and therefore should wall this thing for days, even if it has Surf. I mean, he could run Earthquake, which is what I end up scouting for here with my Protect. And it turns out that he is running Surf, which does damage to Heatran, but not a whole lot. It actually does, I think, 37% at one point in this battle, which is not terrible, but it's not bad for a super effective coverage move. He's going to switch out, probably anticipating me to switch out into the I go into the Meloetta here, and this is where things start to get a little bit annoying. I U-turn out as he stays in, so I know something's taking a big hit here, so I kind of have to deal with that. He goes hard Psychic here, which is a prediction. Is a very bold prediction, to be sure. Like, I had my Meloetta out. He had no reason to know that I didn't have Energy Ball or Thunderbolt or something to hit this Primarina, so I don't understand. I guess I don't get that play that much. like, it worked out for him, so I guess it was a good play just by that logic, but at the same time, uh, that was just making an almost unnecessary prediction, but it worked out for him. So, my Venusaur is faster than Primarina. I made sure that it would be, so I do go for the Sludge Bomb because I didn't need damage on this thing because this thing is a huge nuisance to my team. And so I go into the Meloetta here, and I figure he might want to save this thing, but I U-turn and go into my Heatran, and he's able to rest, and he's got Resto Chesto. So I sacked my Venusaur for basically nothing since he had rest in the end, because I sacked it to get damage off on this thing, and I don't have damage off on it. He's going to Scald my Azumarill, do 20%, does not burn me, which is good. I am leftovers, four attacks, I want to say. Play Rough, Knock Off, Aqua Jet, Waterfall, yeah. Leftovers 4 attacks, just to, with a little bit of bulk investment. I think I invested just enough attack that Play Rough would do 50% to an offensive shame. This clearly got some bulk investment, so it's not offensive shaming, because the crit did 68, which means a normal one will do about 40, 45, something like that. Anyway, he switches out of his shame when I go into my Meloetta. I Hyper Voice on the Primarina. I elected this Hyper Voice twice in a row, because he's played this thing aggressively 2 times in a row now, so I feel like I need to get rid of this thing as soon as possible. But this time, I got drop special attack from the Moonblast, and he's on 5%, so I figure I have almost nothing to lose from going into Heatran. If he rests, then I can just knock him out with 2 or 3 flash cannons, I think. And if he goes up into Scissor, then I'm in a great position. So he does go into the Scissor on my Heatran switch, which is nice. I'm able to just Lava Plume, and he's either got to risk a burn on something or let something go down, which he elects to sacrifice his Primarina. So that's really good. I expect the Crocodile to come out here, and of course it does, because why would you switch out in anything else? Thought about going for leftovers there to get some recovery, but I decided to go Azumarill instead. Probably in retrospect, it might have been a good play to get the recovery from the extra turn of leftovers, but I digress. I am going for Play Rough on the Shaman here. It's going to do 50%. 45%. So he's at 57 right now, so he'll live another one, but Play Rough into Aqua Jet should kill him, but I end up getting a crit anyway, which, I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say how the battle would have played out if I hadn't gotten that, because I could have just Aqua Jet him afterwards, and he would have gone down to that, combination anyway, but I ended up getting the crit instead, so it's hard to say how much that mattered, because he could have switched out and not taken the Aqua Jet, and hoped instead to get recovery on my Heatran, or get recovery on my Synthesis off on something else, but I think that it didn't matter all that much. But anyway, he is going to go into his Latios here. Latios is kind of a big problem for my team. I think my only real switch in is the Meloetta, who's now kind of at low health, and Heatran takes 37% from the Surf, which is pretty good. I'm able to take another one. I do just go for the Flash Cannon there, which is going to do a lot to his Latios. Get it in... I think it's now in range of a Dark Pulse from Lucario if I get to that point. But I go Meloetta, and at that point I actually have a chance to make a prediction. I can go for Hyper Voice, get more damage on Latios, and risk him going Scissor, or I could go Side Shock and have him risk going Crook and Scissors. So there was no point in me Side Shocking because everything on his team resists that. So obviously I was going to go either Hyper Voice or U-turn, because those are the only two moves I'd revealed to him. But however, I did have Hidden Power Fire on this Meloetta, which I do elect to go for here. Therefore, putting the Scissor at 26%, and he knocks me out with Bullet Punch the next turn. So my Meloetta is gone, which was my main way of threatening the Latios for sure. So that's definitely disappointing. But my Flygon should be able to Dragon Dance against his Scissor, because like I said, Bullet Punch does 45%. I roosted that turn. I'm worried about him roosting the whole time, obviously, so I end up actually going for my Z move that second turn just to make sure he doesn't roost, because Earthquake wasn't guaranteed to knock him out from 26% at minus, not at -1, I'm at -1 because Crook came in, but I Dragon Dance here, he knocks off, does 43, I live that, I can roost again, but I think that if he gets a crit, I don't want to play around with crits, so I end up going for the Dragon Claw, but in reality, I really should have roosted to be out of bullet punch range if possible. It would have been hard, it would have taken some time, but that was a thing I should have done, really. But he goes into Scissor, bullet punches my Lucario to break my air balloon, which probably doesn't matter, probably just wanted the damage more than the air balloon broken. And he bullet punches twice, so now I think I'm in range of a roll with Psychic from the Latios. However, that ends up not really mattering, as he does, in fact, have Psyche MZ. I'm going for Vacuum Wave, just maybe I get a crit Vacuum Wave, maybe I get a crit Aqua Jet and knock it out, but at this point I do lose to Latios, which is unfortunate, but it was just a really hard fought, really great, really fun battle. So, shout out to Sky. And if you want to see more of this league, and hopefully we can turn around from being 0-2 and -2 with 2 very close 0-1 losses. I'm hoping we can turn around the rest of the season and win some battles and hopefully maybe make playoffs. But if you want to support the team, like and subscribe, and stay updated on the rest of this league. And until next time, I'll see you guys.